First question in simple interest and compound interest related to TCS previous data. We know in simple interest are I equal to P tier by 100. In every question during your regular CRT classes, we given time is 6 months, 2 years, 2 years, 3 months and all. But here, first time they mentioned date. You invested, okay, 12,500, 1st January 2016. Now the question is, what is the interest you got on 1st July 2016? Means how many months completed? 6 months. Rate of interest is 4% for year. For 6 months, rate of interest now 2%. Interest calculated on what? Principal. Here principal is 12,500. 2% for that is the answer. Interest is 2% of 12,500. 1% is 125, removing 2 zeros. 2% is 250. Option C. Option C is the answer here, 250. Time 1st January 2016 to 1st July 2016. So 7th month, sir, but first date, it's 7th month not completed. 1st Jan to 1st July, 6 months only. Okay, so for 6 months, rate of interest 4%, that is per annum. For 1 year, 4%. For 6 months, 2%. This is easy question, I do agree. But one update is timer not mentioned directly. You are supposed to take what is the time. Okay. No need to note down the question. Just when question is displayed, try to see. Are you able to solve the question? Put pen and paper and try. Spend time on how to solve the question, not on writing the question directly. I'll share the video anyhow, so you can find things. Now this question, a sum invested on simple interest at the rate of 5% per annum grows to 81,200, means the amount become 81,200 in 8 years. Some amount you given, okay, and it become 81,200 in 8 years, means that is principal plus interest both. Now question is, if I give it at 6.25% rate of interest increased or decreased? Increased. Obviously amount will be increased. That is why all options are more than 81,200. Now what is the amount is the question. Generally remaining companies they'll ask what is the principal value like that. But this question given in TCS, that's what's special. First one, you do something, then again you have to calculate. With 5% rate of interest, your amount become 81,200. Now the same amount become how much? If rate of interest is 6.25%, same time period means 8 years. How do you understand the question first? In first one, sir, I is not 81,200, my dear friend. 81,200 is principal plus interest together. Don't think that 81,200 is interest. No. Let me see how many of you are able to solve this question from profit and loss. Now, in simple interest concept, I equal to P tier by 100. Here, this 81,200 is principal plus 8 years interest combined all together, right? So, you want interest means 81,200 minus P. I equal to, I is this, P time is 8 years, rate of interest 5 divided by 100. So, if you go for this for 2 times, for 5 times, now minus 5p here 2p, 7p. 7p is equal to 81,200 into 5. You can calculate what is the p value from this. So 7, 1 times again you have 11, so 11,600. We got 58,000. Okay. Now principal is 58,000. 8 years at the rate of 6.25% means 50%. So 87,000 is correct answer. My dear friend, 1 year 6.25%. 8 years means 50% it is equal to. So you have to increase the amount by 50%. 1 year 6.25. 2 years is 12.5. 8 years, this is nothing but equal to 50% interest. Interest is 50% of principal. Means 29,000 is the interest. Principal is 58. Interest is 29. Combined is what the amount? Amount become 87,000. Rate of interest. This question indirectly you are supposed to calculate sum or principal. Then we have to solve this. Answer 87,000. I equal to PTR by 100, but I is not given directly. Principal 58,000, 6.25% at the rate 8 years means 50%. 50% on principal, which is 29,000. So the amount become combination of both 87,000. Now see this question. I believe you understand this previous. Okay. Now let's look into this question given in TCS. Raju given 3,000 to Bharat, but some amount to Charan. What amount not mentioned? For Bharat 3,000, some amount to Charan, both at the same time at 6% per annum. Rate of interest is same. After 5 years, together he is getting 1,650. Then what is the amount given to Charan is the question. Bharat 3,000, for Charan some amount is given. Some amount is given. So 6% per annum. How many years? 5 years. Here also 6% per annum. 5 years. This will give some interest. Second one will give some interest. Combined is what they given already in the question 1,650. You see, Raju altogether receives 1,650 as the interest from both of these people together. My dear friend, what is Bharat interest? 6% per annum for 5 years means what is the rate of interest? Combined. 30%, right? 30% means 900, right? What is the remaining pending? Remaining pending. 750 should be given by whom? Sharon. Okay. Now, 30% of something is 750. 2,500 is the amount. 30% of something is 750 means that is 2,500. This should be 2,500. 10% is 250, 30% is 750. See the approach. We're not going with formula anything. So why you got that 750? How you got that 750? Already combined is 1,650. Bharat anyhow generating 900. Remaining 750 must be generated from Charan only. Okay, so that with 30% common. These are combined is 30%. 6% for 1 year. 5 years means 30%. Simple interest is like addition. So first year 5% interest, second year 6% interest. Means combined 11%. In simple interest we can do addition. Whereas in compound interest, 105%, 106% I have to write. That's a different story, but this is a different story. Simple interest is like addition. Compound interest like multiplication. Now again, simple interest. Let's give it a try. See this question. Amount is 9,799. Let us say 1 year interest, 1 year simple interest is X, sir. 1 year simple interest is X. 9,799 is what is that amount? 9,799 is principal plus 3 years interest. It's not 3x. Principal plus 3 years interest amount is certain some amounts to amount. It is not interest. Similarly, 12,464 is principal plus 8 years rate of interest. Very good. Now you can calculate what is 5 years rate of interest here. Subtracting 5x, calculate alone For basic calculations, the 12,464 minus 9799 divided by 5, you will get 533, x value 533. Okay, fine. Then you can calculate principal. Using one of the equations, calculate principal. What is the principal now? 9799 minus 3 times of 533. 8,200 is the principal. Okay. Sir, you have to calculate rate of interest. Sir. See, I'll go in this fashion now. 1 year, what is the interest in this case? Up to now, are you clear? You have P plus 3x, P plus 8x. Difference is 5x. You got x value 533, putting that principal value you got. Now listen, what I'll do in this case now, principal 8,200, sir. Question is what they are asking? After 5 years with the double rate of interest. Listen, if it is rate of interest is something, interest you got for 1 year is 533. Double means interest will be 1066. So 8,200 plus double of 5 into 530. Why double 2 into rate of interest double means interest will be double. Why 5? Because of 5 years. I don't calculate rate of interest. Calculating, then doubling, and then calculating, waste of time. So 8,200 plus 5,330. You have option 13,530. Maybe in one of my previous videos, maybe I calculated rate of interest, maybe we did, but that's what depends on time and things, different process, different things. They're not asking the question what is rate of interest. We can calculate, I'm not saying no, but time waste, right? If rate of interest doubled or time double, interest will double. Here, why you are taking 2 into 533 is rate of interest double. So interest will be double. This 5 because of 5 years. I'm not calculating rate of interest. That's what the beauty in the concept. Formula, then you have to do. But if you know the concept, think in a better way. We can minimize some steps. 13,530. Now, even if you stop here, by the time you calculate rate of interest, this question will be completed. Normal question, first two lines they'll give calculate rate of interest. For rate of interest, you need every year simple interest, you need principal, then only we can calculate rate of interest. By that time, this will be done. This question can be completed. So 13,530 is the answer. Now let's have a look into this question. Vipin invested X at a simple rate of interest for 4% per annum. 4 years, sorry, rate of interest is not given. After 4 years, he got 160 as simple interest. Now listen, this is what the beauty. After 4 years, his investment is now 3x. See in this question, initially what is the invested amount you don't know. Rate of interest also not given. But you can calculate that because after 4 years you are getting 160 as simple interest. Now your investment is tripled. Rate of interest is same for 6 years. Now what is the amount of interest is the question. Try. I am telling you without formula you can do this. Just know what a concept what I completed. If your rate of interest double, interest will double. If our investment is double, principal double, interest will double. Time double, interest is directly proportional to principal, interest directly proportional to time, interest is directly proportional to rate of interest. In this question, investment is triple. Definitely your rate, okay, interest will be triple. Investment triple means interest will triple. Investment. One thing you have to do correction is put same timing. First one for how much time? Second one they are asking for. First one also bring it for 6 years. 4 years how much interest, sir? 160 means 1 year 40. 6 years 240. So answer is 720. Why 6 years 240 for investment X? The investment 3x means interest is 240 into 3. Concept. No formula, sir. Formula, nothing. Nothing you can do. See, investment is X, time is 4 years with certain rate of interest R. You got simple interest 160. What we are doing here is same investment X, we are managing for 6 years. Then we'll get it for 240. 1 year is 40 rupees. 1 year is 40. Do into 6. 6 years will be 240. Now in the question what they given? Investment is 3x. Time is 6 years. Rate of interest. Now what is the interest they are asking? As investment triple, interest will be triple. So 720 is your answer. See, it's simple interest only. Will feel easy, but whether you are solving within less time, are you understanding the logic? 1 year 40 rupees, 6 years 240 rupees. If X is the investment, but triple X, 3 times of that, we'll get 720 as the answer. Simple interest related question. With this question, we'll stop. This is a special question where simple interest, then compound interest entered into picture. Initially, Shivalika is there. Okay, 12,500 amount given to Mahesh with 10% per annum simple interest for 6 years. But what happened after 4 years? She revised the condition, said that for the remaining 2 years, on compound interest, you pay me, okay, compound annual. Now, in these two situations, what is the difference between the total interest is the question. First situation is you are giving entire 6 years, 10% simple interest. That's situation 1. Situation 2 is first 4 years, simple interest, next 2 years, compound interest. In these two situations, what is the interest you are getting? First situation is very easy. 10% per annum for 6 years means 60%. 10% is 1,250, 60% on principal, which is 6 times, I think 7,500 is the answer. First case, interest is 7,500. How you got that 60%? 10% per annum for 6 years. Interest is calculated on principal. 60% of principal 12,500 is nothing but 7,500. That discussion done. Is it 7,500? Yeah. Next one. Now, what is the situation? After 4 years, you have to stop, sir. You are 12,500. 4 years, you are doing simple interest with 10% per annum. Means 40%, right? 40% is 5,000. Now the amount becomes 17,500. Sir, why you are going for amount? You read the bracket sentence clearly. You have to calculate after 4 years on the amount. You given 12,500, you will get 5,000 interest combined 17,500 you are giving. Now for 2 years you should apply this as a compound interest concept. 17,500, 10% 1750. Next again 10% for this. 19,250 plus 10% 1925, which is 75,21175. Okay. Sir, you given 12,500. We finally got 21,175. What is the interest in second case here? This is situation 2. What is the extra you got? Extra is what? Simple interest. How much extra? 8,675. Above is 7,500. Difference is 1,175. Difference is 1,175. First case, simple interest 10% per annum for 6 years will generate 7,500. Second case, first 4 years simple interest with 40%, okay, as 10% per annum for 4 years, 40% of that. This is 5,000 added, 17,500. For 17,500, now you have to apply compound interest. This is the beauty. Simple interest, compound interest combined in same question. Okay, so finally you got 8,675 in second case. First case is 7,500. Difference is 1,175. Generally, any exam, if they want to give difficulty, giving situation 2 itself sufficient. But situation 1, situation 2, difference of this one with that one, it will take more time. So situation 2 alone is a difficult. 4 years with 10% per annum with simple interest, then amount for that compound interest, that itself is difficult. Okay. So this is regarding simple interest, and just we started compound interest certain questions. We'll see things going forward. Yeah, check this question. A and B invest in a scheme which provides simple interest at the rate of 5% and 6% for initial capitals less and greater than 21,000. See, one person less than 21,000, other person greater than 21,000. One with 5% per annum, other one with 6% per annum. Okay. B's capital is 20% more than that of A invest. Okay, or A capital. Investment is nothing but capital only. If B invests for 2.5 years, for how many additional days above 3 years, the fourth year being a non-leap year, should A invest as that she earns the same amount of interest? This is simple interest only. But question you see that, okay, there is definitely B is amount more, rate of interest more. B investment is more than 21,000, rate of interest is 6% per annum. Whereas A investment less than 21,000, 5% per annum. If they want both same interest they want, A should invest more time. B already invested 2.5. B invested 2.5 years. Here they mention how many additional days A should invest so that same interest will be generated. Okay, so now question in fact they given fourth year being a non-leap year, because when you count number of days it is required. This is very special question because days. We know months and years related to time in simple interest, compound interest, but now it's all about days. Give it a try. How can you handle this? And amount is here we have clarity. A investment is 20,000 less than 21,000. In fact, that first line is waste, or second line, sorry. A less than 20, B that is not required. You know, A is 20,000, B is 20% more than A, means 24,000. 10% is 2,000, 20% is 4,000. 24,000 is what you got. Fine. Now this B is investing with 6% per annum for 2.5 years. Means altogether we can say 15%. 2.5% per annum, 6%, sorry, 2.5 years, 6% per annum means 15%. Interest is calculated on principal. What is B interest is 15% of 24,000. 24,000, 10% is 2,400, 5% is 1,200, it will be 3,600. B interest is 3,600. Now A is going with 5% per annum. Now what is the time required to get 3,600? Interest of A also must be equal to 3,600. Same amount of interest. Again, there is a problem if they say same amount, answer is different. Interest they clearly mention. Amount means principal plus interest, but the sentence you need to read. Here it is about only interest should be same. Amount same means investment interest of A plus principal of A, interest of B plus principal of B should be equal. But here it is about interest only, so no worry. Now A interest already we got. Interest is principal into time is what we need to calculate. Rate of interest is 5 divided by 100 is 3,600. Okay, this is time taken by A. Now this two zeros will be out. 200 into 5 is 1000. Again this 20, this 20, 3.6 years. 3.6 years means 3 years plus zero point 6 years. 0.5 is 6 months. 3.5, half of the year is 6 months, but this is 3.6. Okay, so that 1 year is non-leap year. Fourth year, why sir they mention in bracket it's non-leap year is because of this. 0.6 into 365 days. You want to convert into days, right? This 3 years, okay, extra is 0.6, that should be 0.6 into the reason why in question they mention non-leap year, all those is because of this. That extra 365 should be multiplied with 0.6 plus 0.6 into 365. That is what the answer also in fact. Okay, how many additional days above 3 years? So 0.6 into 365, which is 3 into 730, 3 into 73, 3 into 73, which is 290. This will give 219, 219. Option C is correct. Good. This is 219. Option C, check it out. Interest of A, interest of B. Simple interest concept only, nothing more. But B interest, A interest both must be equal. This line is actually just to confuse people. They given this. That is not at all required as directly data available. Clear with this question? Fine, good. So let's see about next one here. Compound interest. You are invested 45,000 for 3 years. First year rate of interest is 5%. Second year rate of interest is 10%. Third year rate of interest is 20%. How much interest will be received? Interest they are asking. You invested 45,000. What is the interest after 3 years? As if you do 45,000 into 105%, next multiply with 110, then multiply with 120. This will give compound amount. Minus 45,000 will give compound interest. There is another method, but this method has virtual calculator allowed in TCS. There is no worry. Calculator allowed. 45,000 into 1.05 into 1.1 into 1.2. 62,370. So definitely compound interest will be 17,370. 17,370. There is another method, sir. Same question given in CTS. TCS calculator allowed. CTS calculator not allowed. But same question, if suppose calculator not allowed, how to approach also I'll give you. Without calculator. This I am doing using calculator. There is nothing hidden. Because multiplying with 105, 110%, 120%, Directly, what are the tricks you know? It will take time. Compound interest is compound amount minus principal. The other method for the same question when calculator not allowed. Calculator, to be frank, TCS okay, but let's see. Try this actually. 45,000 5%, which is 45,000 plus 2,250, which is 47250. Then 10% for this, which is 47250 plus 4,725. Then for this, yeah, 51,975. For this 20%, which is, yeah, like that you can divide by. So 51,975 plus 20% means dividing this with 5 also okay. 51975 divided by 5. 10 10395. So this will give 62,370. So extra is 17,370. Compound interest is 17,370. So this is one method. Now let us see about next one. This is good question, similar to EMI. EMI is monthly we'll pay, but this is annually instead of yearly we have to pay. And generally, when suppose if people are going to buy a TV or bike, initial down payment something, if you pay, that's what here also 5,880 down payment given. Then at the end of first year 5,880, and the 2 years means second year also they paid. Fine. So then the amount is cleared and the scheme rate of interest is 5%. Now many people have a wrong thought process like, sir, let us say 1 lakh is the amount I take, I want to pay in 5 months, means 20,000, 20,000, 5 months equally. It's not correct. You may think divided by 5, 20, 20, that's not EMI policy. 1 lakh also, let us say you are paying after 5 months, not now. Every month something, but you are going to clear after 5 months. Means they want to get some interest from you. Even when you take credit card and when you try to swap, they'll tell every month same thing. But on the day of statement generation, you can check that it's not equally 25, 25, 25. You're not getting a 20, 20. No, there is some extra interest. Definitely, it will be there. Here they clearly mention 5% interest. See, let's say the amount is P rupees, and question is what rate of interest? Total interest. Yeah, fine. So totally how much he paid? Amount paid is 5,880, then 5,880, then 5,880. 3 times is it? So amount paid is 17,640. Okay, fine. Now interest we need to calculate. What is the extra, right? So first thing we have to make sure the amount, principal amount, for what amount that mission is originally. Let's say the amount of mission is P. For example, mission amount is P. They definitely get this amount 105% whole cube, so whole square. This amount definitely they'll generate from you. Whether it is EMI policy or what it may be, P is the price of the mission. You are paying, you are clearing it after 2 years. So P into 105% whole square, they will generate it from you. But that is equal to, yeah, fine. No, sir, not 17,640. This is very crucial now. You are giving 5,880 when you are paying on the day one only. That is that 5,880 is with them for how many years? For them, 2 years. You are giving 2%, so that is there for 2 years. So 5,880 into 105% whole square plus first year ending you are paying how much? 5,880. That is with them for 1 year into 105%. Then last one you are paying and the EMI closed, or maybe the payment is closed. This equation a lot of people not understand. That's very clear. But see, this is what the problem. You are paying them, they'll give it to somebody else that rotate. Bank, think like a bank. I got money from you, I'll give it to somebody, I'll rotate. The same. So you paid 5,880. It is with the bank for 2 years because you are closing the loan after 2 years. This 5,880 they'll rotate with some other people. First year after you paid, that will be rotated. Third year, second year ending, you paid, then loan closed. Now you have to calculate P value. So what is the P value now? Doing this 5,008 divided by 105% whole square, 5,880 plus 5,880 divided by 1.05 plus 5,880 divided by 1.05 whole square means 1.1025. This is the principal actually. Again explain. Let me give you clarity. 5,600 here. So P is equal to 5,880 plus 5,600 plus something 533. Let us say. Oh, sorry, it's mistake. 5,880 divided by 1.05 divided by 1.05. Yeah, fine. Anyhow, okay. Plus 5,880 plus 5,600. 16,813. Okay. You are paying 17,640 for them. What is the extra? 826.667. That's what answer. Nearest 827. This is the mission cost, but you paid 17,640. EMI concept, in fact, but that is monthly, but here it is in yearly. But many people have that misunderstanding. Or else I'll just, okay, you can note it down 1 minute. I'll just give you EMI concept bit more clear for you to understand above question properly. Sometimes they'll ask you, I'll show that solution, don't worry. But sometimes they'll ask you, you have to fix EMI. I'm talking EMI monthly only now. Let's say you taken for 4 months some 1 lakh rupees is the washing machine cost. Washing machine cost is 1 lakh rupee. You want to take it for EMI. EMI amount is X. X is the EMI you have to pay every month. You are supposed to calculate what is to be paid, and the rate of interest that bank is expecting is 10%. See, I am telling you again the same. 1 lakh 4 months means first year, first month 25,000, next 25, next 25, next 25. No way. It's not like that. They want 10% or maybe 12%, let us say 12% if they want rate of interest, then they'll get it 12% from you. 12% per annum means 12% for 12 months. For 1 month, 1%. Now, why I taken this example is to understand the before question bit a proper way. Now I am asking you people to decide what is the EMI amount. Now, if you see this scenario properly, finally what is the amount it should be required is 1 lakh into 101% whole power 4. Why 101%? Why whole power 4? 4 months, 1% per annum, 101% whole power 4. This amount they want to generate from you, not 1 lakh divided by 4. 1 lakh into 101% whole power 4 they will generate from you. Now this should be distributed in EMI base. First month you are paying EMI. After first month, not initially. Above question is initially itself you paid 0 day. On the day one itself you paid. But EMI means after a month. Initially you not paid anything. First month you paid X rupees. It is with them for how many months? 101% whole power 3. 3 months only, sir. You paid after 1 month. So it is available with him for 3 months. 2, 3, 4. Second month EMI, 2 months. That's why whole square. Second month you are paying X only. Third month, 1 month. Fourth month you paid, then closed. This will give X value. If you want to calculate EMI, you have EMI calculator also in online. There is already calculator exists, but as an engineer, we should know how that calculator is working. Okay, you can try this dividing with 101% whole cube, that one right side one. Then you'll find X value. It will be obtained, but this is how the calculation is happening. Many people clearly in that, okay, entire amount divided by 5 divided by 4, not like that. This is the thing between. But here, this question again, even people know EMI concept or this one. This question is special because you even cash down payment. This sir, then why here whole square 2 years? Why whole square is first one you paid in the day one only. That is there with them for 2 years. Second for 1 year. Next one, okay, immediately the loan closed. And this is the crucial thing. So I believe, okay, this is 0.33. They said approximately. So we are closing it to 16813. This is peak level question, to be frank. Many people may not attempt this or not able to understand this also. Clear? EMI concept. The generally the two questions will be there. One is like, what is the EMI amount, X amount? Or sometimes instead of EMI, they'll say you are paying after every year. Equal amount you are paying after every year. What is that amount you need to decide? In this question, 5,880 given. Instead of that, they will tell 10,000 is given for you, or 1 lakh amount you taken loan. You have to decide the EMI for 4 years. Every year you are paying equal amount. Instead of month, they are discussing an exam only with years only, not monthly. Now let's see about this question. Compound interest, simple interest, both involved. Try this. This question, simple interest, compound interest, both involved. B given it for compound interest, A given for simple interest. And please be clear here, question is both get the same amount, not same interest. One of the question we discussed where it is about only interest, but here it is about amount. Amount means principal plus interest. So that's what the scenario. What is the amount? Sir, you can assume you have a freedom now, you can assume the value. In this question, you can assume the value, no problem. A capital, B capital is not given. You can assume if, okay, if B is 10,000 invested, then A will be how much? If B is 10,000, A will be 12,050. A is 120.5% of B. Here I am assuming, not given in the question, B investment not given, we are assuming 10,000, then A will be 12,550. Okay. Now we have to calculate B, then we have to get back to A. What is B interest or B amount after 3 years? Now that shortcut, what we maybe I find, in fact here compound amount of B 10,000 into 120% whole cube. Why 120%? 20% compound interest whole cube will give 17,280. Now 12,050 plus interest of A must be equal to 17,280. Amount of A, amount of B, both must be equal. Amount of B already I got 17,280. 120% whole cube. This approach I am giving only because this in TCS calculator allowed. Else we will do in a different way. B given it for compound interest. Clear, right? A given for A invested in simple interest. Now what is interest? A should get how much amount interest of A? 5,230. Correct. 5,230. This is principal into PTR band timing 3 years only. Rate of interest is what you have to calculate. divide by 100. So no worries, calculator allowed, no issue. So 523 into 100 divided by 1205 divided by 3 will give 14.46. One decimal means 14.5. You have 14.46, I agree. You have to correct to one decimal. 14.46. If you want to correct to one decimal, you have to go for 14.5. Simple interest, compound interest, both they combine in one question. So any doubt in this one, please? Out of all discussion, what is happening now? This EMI question is good one. Down payment plus EMI, not EMI, sorry, every year you are paying same amount. Any doubt in this one, please? Amount here. But if you see previously one question we discussed, but this is only interest. This one, no? Yeah, here interest must be same. Same amount of interest, but that too, this is both simple interest, fine. But here one is simple interest, one is compound interest. Let's move to the next question related to simple interest and compound interest. So Rahul invested 12,000 on compound interest, compounded annually for 3 years. After 2 years, he invested an additional 60% of the total value of the amount of his credit then. 60% of what? What amount that is? Compound amount at that time. Not 60% of 12,000. After 2 years, whatever the amount is there, for the 60% he added. Right. Now his amount, how much amount will he get on completion on the term after 3 years? So means 1 year only you are doing a 60% extra, right? So now think 12,000, okay, 25% means 1 by 4, which is 3,000, means 15,000 after first year. Second year, 15,000 plus 25%, 3,750, which is 18,750. Any doubt as of now? Now what is third year investment is 18,750 into 160% for third year, 60% extra. So 18,750 into, which is 30,000 now. You are investing 30,000 for third year. Now 25% for that means 7,500, which will become 37,500, option D. See this. Answer 37,500. How much amount? It's not about how much interest. Interest will be 25,500. Amount is 37,500. And for third year is 30,000. Because this is not 18,750 investment. For third year investment is 60% more than up to that time. So 30,000 is investment for third year. For that we have to take rate of interest 25%. No. 60% of that is 11,250 only. No. If suppose you want to add it, 160% means 18,750 plus 60%. No. If I write only 60% of this, then we have a doubt. This will be 11,250. In fact, we added that is 30,000. And why 7,500 is you are investing in second year. After 1 year, this is second year, 30,000. You are investing at the end of second year. 1 year completed, now interest should be taken out. At the end of second year, 30,000 invested. Third year ending, 37,500 it become. Now see this question. Simple interest, compound interest combined. I believe you can answer this question. Bit similar to previous questions what we handled. Try this now. A sum invested in compound interest at a certain rate for 3 years earns same interest. Compound interest, simple interest, fine, but now it is in simple interest concept you have to apply at the rate of 18.2% for 4 years. How much more or less is the percentage rate in case of the simple interest than that in case of compound interest compared to simple interest? Compound interest rate of interest is how much more or less than simple interest they're asking. But listen, okay, compound interest, simple interest, compound interest investment for 3 years only. The amount obtained due to compound interest for 3 years must be equal to simple interest for 4 years. That to rate of interest 18.2% they given. Here you have to calculate what is the rate of interest in this first case. And is that more or less than the simple? You have to check it out later. And this is again typical question. Principal not given, you assume principal as 10,000 or something. You can assume principal is 10,000 something, proceed, then check it out. Good question for learning for sure. When data is less, solving that question will give a lot of inputs for you. Give a try this question, how to handle. Try, okay. They said say sum invested, same amount, okay. Now let's take principal equal to something called 10,000. 1,000, okay, fine, cool. Then first you calculate simple interest. 728 because 18.2% per annum for 4 years. So you got simple interest is 728. Okay, fine. Now what they want? Compound interest also they want same. Compound interest also they want 728. Investment is same. Okay, but for 3 years, no, 20% is the rate of interest. 1.8 is the answer. Now, okay, because see, principal 1,000, adding this 1,728, right? Compound amount is 1,728. That is principal into some rate of interest. Okay, whole cube, some x% whole cube, x power 3, let us say. If we calculate x value, it is 1.2, means 120%, means 20% is the rate of interest. That's what problem. When we use pen and paper, when you try, then you will get. So 1,728 is 12 cube. 1,000 is 10 cube. I take a difficult value 10,000. You made it as 10 cube exact 1,000. Helped me anyhow. So 12 cube divided by 10 cube. 1.2 whole cube. 120%. Rate of interest is 20%. Then we can say it's 1.8% more. This is 20%. No, here rate of interest is. So we can say 1.8% more. They're asking is it more or less compared to other rate of interest? It is more only, 1.8% more. So check any doubt in this question, please. This is 1,720, 12 cube divided by 10 cube equal to x cube. 12 by 10, which is 1.2 whole cube equal to x cube. That will give x value 1. Definitely they'll frame things in an easy way, but you have to start. You have to start. Only mantra with thesis is understand the question, try, put the pen and paper, try. Then it will finally answer will come. But if you just keep thinking, answer will not come. You start doing, you can crack. I think this one you can handle it easily. $30,000 become 51,840 in 3 years doing compound annually concept. But now question is, how much amount, how much interest you will get for 6 months if you do compound quarterly for the same one. Using first data, you have to calculate rate of interest. You have to calculate rate of interest. Then using compound quarterly for 6 months, you need to calculate what is the interest. 2 quarterlies will come in that 6 months, but first one you need to calculate rate of interest. So using previous question data, rate of interest is clearly 20%. If we divide by 30, this is actually 1000, this is 1728. In 3 years means that is rate of interest 20%. I am not doing that, that anyhow we did in previous one. Okay, so rate of interest is 20%. Okay, now when year 20% means for quarterly it is 20% for 1 year rate of interest. For quarterly 3 months rate of interest is 5%. Now in that 6 month span we will get 2 quarterlies. So 30,000. Now initially 3 years given, but now it is given asking for 6 months only. That is different. This data is only to calculate rate of interest. That's gone. Now you need to do it for 2 times. So 3,000 10%. So 5% is 1,500. 31,500. So again 31,500 plus 1575, right? Okay. So which is 33,075. 3,075 is your answer. 3,075 is your answer. Many companies they'll stop with that first line. 30,000 become 51,840 in 3 years compound annually. What is the rate of interest? Close. But these people will keep adding something for that flavor. That's why handling TCS questions within solving within 1 minute is be difficult. That's why they themselves they given extra 5 minutes in fact, and that too even 25 minutes also. You can aim for 15 questions genuinely to say. I cannot accelerate like okay you can crack all 20 questions means you will do all wrong on. Okay, attempting 15 questions in a say 12 to 15 questions correctly is sufficient. And in fact, don't worry, like as mentioned earlier, even you people selected for digital, once you step into the company after 6 months also, they again you need to take the exam, same like this. Then you have to give the interview and you can upgrade to prime. But again, test, okay, even after 6 months also this type of test they have to take. Same test. There are no code, not only coding. A lot of people will assume after entering to the company to upgrade, no only coding, no. Again, you need to take all this. Process is process for that. So now what about this question? What sum of money at compound interest will amount to rupees 6,930 in 3 years? If the rate of interest is, I think similar to this question we already solved, right? First year 5%, second year 10%, third year 20%. And 6,930 is amount only. Using compound interest, but it's simple. P into 105% into 110% into 120% is 6,930. If you see your second year, that booklet 2, practice booklet 2, we given same question 1,286. Principal you need to calculate 1,000 something will get. Same is there. 5, 10 and 20 only available. As virtual calculator alone, this is not a big deal. That's why I written in this fashion. 6,930 divided by 1.05 divided by 1.1 divided by 1.2. Answer is 5,000. P will be equal to 5000. Some people may feel odd. I am writing 120% as 1.2 as calculator allowed. I am doing that. 120% means 120 divided by 100. Okay, which is 12 divided by 10, 6 by 5. Okay, but finally it is 1.2. As calculator allowed, we are using the decimals and all. Normally we don't use that. Next. Now this question, sir, you always say avoid formulas, but there is a formula for this. Avoiding that also I'll give, but even formula remembering also be difficult. There is a concept difference between simple interest and compound interest. If it is for 2 years, difference between simple interest and compound interest is P into R by 100 whole square. For 2 years, difference between simple interest compound interest, provided compound interest annually. Semi and half yearly, quarterly, this will not apply. Annually you are doing compound interest concept. If it is for 3 years, this is bit still difficult for you to remember the formula. Annually, compound annually, 3 years, the difference is P into R by 100 whole square into 3 plus R by 100. Sir, but okay, that's what maybe if you want to solve this question very fast way, difference is given. This value is given 1736. You know R value. You need to calculate P. If you know the second formula, you can save some time and you can solve. But sir, I want to avoid formula. I don't want all this story. Yeah, we have another method, but it will take some extra time for sure. If you know formula, which is simplified version, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, you can save. Okay, you substitute in this second expression. Some people feel that this is the shortcut. Fine, that's all up to you. Fine. But I'll give another method to solve the same question. Rate of interest is 10% per annum. Now, very simple. If I take principal is 1000, if I go compound interest with 10% per annum for 3 years, if I do compound interest, I'll get 1331. Compound amount is 1331, sorry. Compound interest will be 331 because 110% whole cube. So this will be 331 only. Compound interest will be 331. But if you go for simple interest, you will get 300. What is the difference? 31. But in question, what is the difference given? 1736. It is multiplied with, we have to check what logic is the factor, then we have to multiply this with the same. Find the factor. What you can do, 1736 divided by 31, 56. So you have to multiply this with 56. So correct principal is 56,000. This is our assumption. 1000 is our assumption. We proceeded. We got 31 as the difference between CI and SI, but we got 1736. So this is the other approach, but it may take quite some extra time compared to the formula. Some extra time might be taken here. So 56,000 is the answer. Any doubts in this, please? Multiplied by 56, that factor is what? This is given in the question. 1736 is already given in the question. We got 31, they given 1736. Divide that one, this, we got the factor 56. Then multiply with 56, we'll give the answer. Now this question, compound quarterly, only with calculator. I believe we can handle this question with calculator only. Fine. A sum invested in a scheme where the interest gets compound quarterly and amount become 1,40,000, it grows too. Okay, it's the sum grows, it's not compound interest. This is the compound amount. 1,40,000 is the compound amount in how many months? 15 months, means 5 quarterlies. P into some x percent whole power 5. 5 quarterlies will be there. Whereas it become 1,57,304 in 7 quarterlies. Question is now regarding x. No, rate of interest, not x. Okay, x is 100 something, we got 100% like that. But when you divide 1,57,304 with 1,40,000, we got 1.1236. This is 106% whole square. So x is rate of interest is 6. Complete. .1236. When you divide second one with first one, second equation with first equation, this is first equation, this is second equation, divide second one with first one, you people will get 1.1236. This is called as 106%. 1.06 whole square. 1.06 is nothing but 106%. 106% means 1.06. 1.06 whole square. Right side is x percent whole square. So x will be equal to 106%. Rate of interest is 6%. Calculator. Without calculator, that 1.1236, if you don't know, then prove. Virtual calculator. For majority of the questions in quant, even virtual calculator open for reasoning, verbal, everywhere. Any section, virtual calculator is there. But for quant only, we can use it. Yeah, that is per annum only. Oh, yes, into 4. Yes. 24 is correct answer. Correct. That 6% is for quarterly. Agreed. Very good. See, that mistake I'll do, you will do. That's what problem. Exam, same thing will happen. Even we did all things, but the 6% is for quarterly. 6% is for quarterly, 3 months. Question is regarding annum. Into 4. 24 is the correct answer. Thanks for correction. Generally, that mistake will happen. That's why we need to attempt more exams, do mistakes. Even you are getting less marks means it's not like you don't get the concept. Some mistakes like this will happen. I believe compound interest, simple interest have completed. Okay. So different set of questions